Hello, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Discuss Detroit, where we talk with local small business owners, community leaders, and residents about the city that we all love. I'm Jeanette Pierce. I'm your hostess with the mostest. And today we have one of my favorite people in the city, Mamba Hamissi from Baobab Fair. And we are going to be talking with him about his excellent and amazing business and an inspiring story as well. So, hi, how are you, Mamba?
Hey Janet, how are you?
Good. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I was thinking about the time when we met. It was about just about 2.5 years ago now, when we were both selected to be part of the startup story night that NEI was doing. And I was just absolutely blown away by your story. I mean, I laughed, I cried, I was inspired, and also I think we just had a good time, connecting that time, and ever since you've been one of my favorite people.
Yeah, thank you so much. Your story was amazing too. And that's what I love in Detroit. Everybody has his own story, and then it's like pushing. We are pushing each other, which is just unbelievable.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I, wanted to be able to do these Discuss Detroit conversations because, with being separate from everybody, that's really can be difficult, especially when we normally do feed off of each other and the connections and the conversations and hearing everybody's stories. So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself and give them your kind of
Yeah, as you said, my name is Mamba Hamissi. I was born and raised in Burundi. And so, as I said all the time, I got a chance to go to school, which is not given to everybody. And I finished my college. I had a degree in business administration. I had the work. I worked there. I met Nadia, and then we was married in 2012. So since then, now we have two kids, and we find ourselves in Detroit. So Nadia live in Freedom House for almost I would say almost 2 years and a half. So we had our kids, Ken's and Diaz at Freedom House, and then I couldn't join them. So I came in United States in 2015, which was totally new experience. And I was, becoming in a small country, poor country, and then becoming, um, start new life in United States, which was another experience. But with a lot of excitement, but life was tough. Was in November. The winter was about to hit,
yeah.
the initial, so everything was new for me. I wouldn't speak the language at that time. So yeah, and I didn't have even the work permit. I stayed home for 1 year and then had my work permit, and then I started the work. But in meantime, so when I was waiting for my work permit, I had a chance to be in a program at Freedom House with Prosperous Detroit entrepreneurship program, which I'm so grateful to uh, to be among people who graduated in that program. So that's why today I can be in front of you and be able to talk about business.
And so, I mean, and there's so many different pieces of that of your story, and I think one of the things that really struck me when I first heard it was just how difficult it is to come here, and how difficult it was to come to be with your family here. And I think that some people who have not had any um, have not touched the immigration system think, oh, it's so easy, just come and it'll be, ask and you can come. And knowing that it took you so long to go through all of the hoops, and then you didn't get to see your daughters for a couple of years. I mean, that's just heartbreaking. But they are going to be 7 now in November, he
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
And and I can show this picture here of your beautiful family. Um, that your wife, who is also the cook, the main chef, and kind of the other half of the business, right? And then your two daughters, what are their names?
Yeah, it's not Kenza and Diaz.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
And your wife doesn't like the spotlight as much, is that correct?
she doesn't. She doesn't. She like to be under the curtain. Yeah, but that's where she finds herself. Like, and then she's amazing there. She's the one. And then I remember when we had a discussion about the design of the restaurant with Rossetti, and then she was like, myself, I wanted to have an open kitchen, and then she was like, no, cover it. So I want to do my stuff there. I want to do it. That's how she is. And then she's very good in that role, and she's very, very supportive. I would say she play. Sometimes people see just my face and see me, but I would say she play like 80% of everything in Baobab Fair. So I'm just here for 20%. But everybody see just my face, but one who work hard and who do everything behind the scene. Yeah.
I think that's kind of the story of a lot of women in, in a lot of businesses out there. But it's a teamwork thing, right? I mean, you being out there, being that face, like that's something she doesn't enjoy doing. So it's great that you have these different skill sets that can play off of each other. I know my husband and I we're not in business together, but we have that similar experience of having different things that we're good at and different things that we enjoy. And I think that's an important part. So you talked about Prosper Us. Talk about some of the, so that journey to opening a business and some of the resources or, what parts of our entrepreneurial ecosystem that you got to utilize and that worked for you.
So I think especially for our business model and our journey was all about forcing and then go that extra thing from beyond what was in our box. Because coming here just after 1 year, starting what we are doing right now, was not easy. And then Prosperous was there to push us to support. And then this is how we applied on Hash Detroit contest. And then we won the 50,000. That was the beginning.
Right.
But that was just a little piece, just from Africa, 50,000. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm becoming a rich, converting to my Burundian francs. So, but which was totally different. So I'm talking about just 10% of the budget we're gonna put in this business. So we are talking about $500,000 to open Baobab Fair. So that's, Prosperous was there to just telling us, what, this is just a small piece of a big picture you can imagine to open the business. So after that one, we won the 50,000 from Motor City match. And after that, so we were able to sit on the table with lenders and say, hey, we have 1,000. And that moment, DDF, John Scheniger, came over and said, hey, there is another prize you can win. You have to apply. It was Michigan Good Food. So we won 10,000. So we were on table with 1,000, 10,000, 10,000.
110,000. Yeah.
110,000. So before we start even, the business, so that was something we said, like, we couldn't be in this position without all this support around. So that's I'm talking about Prosperous and Hash Detroit at that moment. So we got a chance. It took us long, to get a loan for EDF Invest Detroit, and Prosperous also was there for us to help to fill the gap. And so now that's how we end up being where we are. And then another thing I have to point out here is Midtown Inc. play a huge role because the building we are in is Midtown Inc. And then they was there to support, they was very flexible with us. They wanted us to be in the building where we are. So I would say we wouldn't, ask more than being in Detroit. I don't know what happened to us could happen in another city, you know. So that's why me and Nadia were so grateful to be, in Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, and we talk about the entrepreneurial ecosystem. I mean, it's a big two words that we didn't really use a lot even just 10 years ago. But the idea that it isn't that even the different entities in the entrepreneurial ecosystem work together, and it isn't just you go to Build Institute or Prosperous and that's it. You go along this system and there's a lot of support, and that's been growing in recent years too. And there's other cities are actually looking to us and to learn from some of these things. Motor City Match, which nothing's perfect, obviously, but it was a huge, new idea, and other cities are looking to replicate that. Build Institute, Prosperous. I mean, these are resources that like as you mentioned, many other cities don't have this grassroots, ground level support for entrepreneurs. And then to have the CDC, the Community Development Corporation of Midtown Detroit Inc., help with this building. And so this is the building, and this is where you guys are going to be, right here on this bottom floor, right at the corner of Woodward and Graham Boulevard. And so Midtown Detroit helped with that. And above you are the new Ralph Wilson offices too. So they'd kind of probably helped rehab some of the rest of the building. And then at the other end of the block is Yum Village, and we had Godwin on earlier. So it's going to be a lot of excellent food on this block once you get a chance to open. And I also want to just mention, for those that aren't familiar with Hatch Detroit, that Hatch Detroit is an amazing organization, nonprofit, that started with Comerica Bank donating some money to then have this contest. So it didn't just give you this money. Also, you worked your butt off for that to win Hatch Detroit. I mean, there's the online part. There's the pitch competition. There's all sorts of things, and it really is, takes a village to raise a business, as we say. Tech Town. And as Michelle is pointing out, absolutely, Techtown is, a big part of the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and will be your neighbors, very close by to you guys over here at Grand Boulevard there.
Yeah, another thing I was like Tech Town is something, we have very good relation with Tech Town because they are there, they are playing the role where they are there to, support, advises, people are very friendly, as Michelle said. Michelle, I knew her at one event and then she became a friend, it's like a family, that I would say. So, which is unbelievable to be in Detroit. Everywhere you are, that's why we call it home. So everywhere you are, you feel like it's home. You know someone knows someone. Yeah.
That's absolutely. It's a sense of community, really. And I'm glad that that even though you haven't been here for forever, that you still feel that too. That when people come, some people think that Detroiters sometimes don't want new people to come, and that's not the case. It's the way people come too. Sometimes there can be, if someone comes here and is not not community focused, is not looking to help or help as they grow their business. It's hard to explain, but if they're all about themselves, then it's not going to be a good fit. But with your sense of community, and then the community embraces you, that's what the win-win happens, where the win-win happens. So tell us a little bit more about Baobab Fair. So what is it? What's the goal? What type of food are you going to have? And anything else you want to share?
So yeah, when we had the idea of Baobab Fair, for us was first of all an opportunity because me and Nadia, we couldn't get a job. We had degrees. She has degrees in language and temporary language and new languages, and so I have a degree in business administration, but I couldn't get a job the same. And then it was like, we want to create an opportunity for our kids and for ourselves. This is how the idea came over. And then as my family owned the restaurant back home, I had the background in the restaurant business, which is totally different from back home to Detroit. But I was like, why not? We don't have any African restaurant around, Detroit, Midtown, Core Town, around downtown. We don't have. Why not bring something which is different? This is how the idea came over. And so Baobab Fair, why Baobab Fair? Because Baobab is a tree growing the desert. The desert is dry, and then me and Nadia we're growing. We are being grateful and thankful to the city where we didn't know anybody, where we created everything from the scratch. So that's what we are doing. That's what the name. And Baobab Fair is about inspiring other people, other immigrants, other refugees, that they can, and they can do it in Detroit. You can go and find it. That's the message we wanted to send. Detroit is your home. We live here. If it's happened to us, if it's possible to us, why not you? And then not only that, inspire other people who feel like they can't make it happen. You can, because most of the thing we say to, we will tell our kids one day, we say, you don't have any excuse to not succeed, because we did it in a short time and we made it. So you did it, you have everything to succeed. We don't have any excuse. So that's the message we wanted to send out there. And, to be there for others, create job for immigrants and refugees. Sometimes it's hard for them to be hired, as I couldn't get a job in Detroit. I couldn't get a job here because I wouldn't speak the language. So we want to give the opportunity to people to work at the restaurant, to start the fast, because every time in America to start the fast job is very hard. So we want to give that small chance to people to start. If they want to expand, you want to go to school, you want, they can do it after. So that's the goal for
Amazing.
Baobab Fair. And as where we are coming from, food is something special, and then meat is not something you eat every day. Meat is something you eat occasionally. So we have a very long and large choice of vegetarian. It's not something you can afford. It's very expensive. So our everything which has sugar is very limit and healthy, because this is how we make food in Africa, in Burundi. So I was surprised one day when I had fake meat. I was like, no, not fake meat, say like a real beef. I was like, you mean there is fake beef? I've never had that in my life. So that's kind of philosophy we want to bring back. We know that this kind of real food was here and was affordable. So that's the mission and the goal we have for Baobab Fair.
That's awesome. So here's a picture I just grabbed off, some of the food. Can you talk about, these are some traditional dishes or some dishes you might have at the restaurant? Can you talk a little bit about some of what's on the plate and what people can expect?
Yes, absolutely. This is the food we eat every day. You have peas and carrots. You have chicken and onion. You have coconut rice. You have pilau rice, and you have spinach with peanuts, which is amazing. People love it. And then you have yellow beans. So, and then you have the juice, the passion fruit juice. We are working with MSU, Michigan State University, because we want to make our own drink. And then we've been working with them. We are almost at the end, so to launch our drinks. So we have 2 drinks coming. So we're gonna be selling at the restaurant and then retail all over, Michigan. We don't know how it's gonna be, but that's our goal. Yeah, and then we've been importing coffee from Burundi, and then we are roasting here in Detroit. And the coffee business we've been doing is just unbelievable, because every $2 you pay for this coffee goes back. Used to go back home to help. We have a program where we want to send 10 kids at school, 8 girls and 2 boys. So that's the goal. So we sent last year 1,500. So we want to keep going. So since the pandemic, COVID started, we stopped that program and then supporting undocumented family GoFundMe. So every $2 goes to support the GoFundMe for undocumented family around Detroit.
That's awesome. So I was going to, my next question is what, how has COVID and all the changes of the last few months impacted, your business, the build out? Is you were doing coffee before COVID, right? But it's,
Yeah.
yeah, so you were doing that for a while. Where are you, and also where are you roasting? Where are you roasting at it? I'm
So
curious. Is that in
we are
your space?
no, we are roasting. We don't have a roaster, so we are roasting at Jermac by
Okay.
Eastern Market.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are working with Steve there, and we have a very strict and clear vision of only coffee, because we want to support the community. We want to support good causes through the coffee. So which Steve understand and then want to. So the idea for us is to import big quantity and then give it, sell it to other roasters around. So then the we can break the middleman, give back to the
Right.
farmers, back in Burundi. Yeah.
Well, and that's great that Germac, which is one of the oldest businesses in Detroit, and just another example of collaboration, helping a new business, so that's awesome that, because it's expensive to obviously get a roaster and all, and that, so sharing makes sense. So what other things in COVID you've been helping feed some of the frontline workers, and where are you cooking out of now when you're to do that?
So when COVID started, so we were about to open the restaurant because our opening date was mid May, and everything stopped, and then our morale was down, and then we was like, what are we gonna do? We was like, this is a time to be, useful. People are sitting down, are tired. We don't have that much expenses as other businesses, so let's make it happen. And then we start, feeding healthcare workers. And then this is how one of our friends, Elisa, reached to us, and then she's been helping us, and we filled healthcare workers. And then another friend came over, Mark Topolowski. He helped again. We feed. So I would say we feed almost, we make almost 450 meals for healthcare workers, just me and Nadia, which was unbelievable.
Wow.
Was a very good experience. And so yeah, and then we used that moment was just so good for us because the restaurant was closed. We used Young Village Kitchen.
Okay, another partner.
Yeah, Godwin is just a brother. He's I don't see him as a competitor. I see him as a brother. If I don't have plantains, I go there and then I use his plantains, and then I can give it. If I have a pop up or something, and then I have some left plantains, I go and then drop it there. So we have that collaboration, meaning. So we use his kitchen because he closed, and then he's he's there all the time to give advices. And man, this is Detroit. What you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. And Godwin was actually was the first guest when I was like, I want to talk to people on Facebook Live and record these conversations. And so we had Godwin on, and yeah, it's been amazing watching his growth and trajectory and business, and I can, speak from this to Detroit Experience Factory and City Institute. Nothing is a straight line to what you think it's gonna be, right? And so there's always having to adapt and change. And certainly, Godwin talked about that. And and to have all of these things that you guys have already had a lot of changes and things to deal with, and then to have COVID come to delay your opening, and possibly change what is the future? What do you think? Where are you guys thinking? you're gonna be able to? Are you gonna be able to open? What's that gonna look like? What are you thinking right now?
So it's a little bit scary, but we are believer, and then for sure the concept will have to change, and we will have to use the patio, but we have to invest more money to design and to buy new equipment for outside. So we are looking at September, but we are going slowly. We want to see how things gonna change. As I said, I think the pandemic was a very good moment to refresh and to be grateful, and then to see where we came from and then where we are going. And I think that the concept for sure gonna change. For how long, we don't know. We want just to make sure that we open the door. From there, we put a lot of money and a lot of effort in interior design, the chairs and everything. We want everything which can look good, which can be different. Unfortunately, we don't want to start with it. So we will see. But that's how we want to see it. But, in Michigan, it's cold. So you need to have people inside. Uh, I can't tell for now, but I think our goal and focus to open, at least have a
Yeah.
kitchen. I know the food is good. People want to even, take it and go
Michelle
home.
was just saying in the comments how the food is amazing, and that is not light praise either, because Michelle is a chef herself. So she definitely, I trust her on that. I haven't actually had a chance to try your food yet, so I'm gonna need to find a way to do that. Are you guys doing catering or carry out, or not yet because you haven't finished the kitchen?
Not yet, not yet, because we didn't finish the kitchen. So we
Yeah.
used to use the kitchen like permanently at DSO, Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Nice close. And all the restaurants now, they're struggling to open. They're using their kitchen. But we have one friend in Hamtramck who's willing to give us the kitchen. Maybe in few days we're gonna make sure we know what to do, because we wanted to launch our juices, and then we need a kitchen. So we want just to
Right.
register that kitchen, so to have the licenses for that kitchen, so then we can make a plan. But for now, what we are doing, we are selling coffee online, which, as I said, $2 goes to GoFundMe for undocumented family around Detroit. And then we've been doing every Saturday events where we sell the African donut like mandazi and coffee.
Mm.
Love it. And then we donate to different organizations. So we do it at Cora Park by Okra Bakery every
Yeah.
every
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 Saturday.
Saturday. And so we are there from 11 to 2. Then we collect the money, what the small we can, to support other nonprofits that around.
That's awesome. So 11 to 2 on Saturdays right now is a good coffee and donuts, but special donuts, not like we don't have, that most people probably haven't had before.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are some lessons learned or advice you would give to entrepreneurs or food businesses, people thinking about getting in the food business, or maybe kind of already in the middle of it and are trying to figure out what to do next?
It's all the time. My mom used to show me the fingers. They are not on the same level. You have up and downs. So it depends the fingers where you are. Maybe today you are here, tomorrow you are here. So that is how life is. And then this is how we take life. You have to be you have to be ready all the time, that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And then that's what I like in being being entrepreneur, because life is not boring. You have all the time
Definitely.
surprises. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's
Right.
you wake up in the morning, you have a surprise waiting just when you put your leg on the ground, which is good. So I would say, you live your passion. Just live your passion. Keep focus. It's not easy, but it's possible, especially in this difficult time. Keep that smile. Godwin used to say all the time. I like it. I like the way he say, like, stay positive. I think that is a key. You know. the problem will all the time be there, but the way you handle the problem is that's what will make you to be different to somebody else. But even last year problems were there. Even next year problem will be there. So it's just a matter of being ready, for the problems. So my experience was a little bit different because I learned everything in a short time. And you know this, Janet, and being a dad of twins, you have triple is different.
Yeah.
So starting a business while you are a dad of twins at once is the most difficult thing to do in the whole life, because you have to figure out how the kid's gonna do, what's they gonna be, how they're gonna, all these things, and then you have to make the decision on business. So it's hard to be a good dad and a good leader at once. And then when you start life, as we did, me and Nadia. So I think that was the most difficult thing to handle. But kids are growing, we are getting more experience, and then challenges are becoming very easy now. Something you went through last year now is totally different. And so I think that was a big problem on my experience. And then learn food industry in America, because everything here is about formula. Is 1 + 1 = 2. Where I came from is not like that. Where I came from is what is in your mind, your instinct, and then you put it there.
And make it
That's
happen.
it. You make it happen. So here's that difference. So you have to learn it. You have to make sure that everything is okay. Where I came from, we don't have working cooler. We don't have refrigerations. We don't have all these things. You have to deal with it. We don't cook on gas. We cook on charcoal. We cook on wood. It's different. So you have to deal. You have to convert yourself in the new system. Sometimes you can think it's easy, but it's hard because you have to make sure that everything is right. And the process here, I feel like is taking long. Something I would say it wouldn't take me like 6 or 7 months to build, but here you have this process, and for me it's taking more long time. But it's I'm learning every day. I'm learning, for this new journey, and I'm so grateful. Another thing,
Yeah.
the last one, the people. I met amazing people in this journey. I met, people I met, I think they worth 10 million or whatever you can call. So I met people who helped me, who helped, the business, who helped me and Nadia as a family and the kids. So I think that's what make this to be easy, because people who was around us, giving us the right direction, telling us what we don't want to hear, which is very important.
Yeah.
Make the real critics, being as consider us as friends, as brothers, as very close uh, family members. That was very, very helpful. So I think that's, first of all, I would say that thing helped us to be where we are now, friends and people and family. So we created in Detroit.
Yeah. Find your village, build your village, collaborate.
Yeah.
That's important. And there's definitely a lot more barriers, like you were saying, like those systems and those formulas are difficult and can be barriers. But then you have these resources that hopefully can help people with breaking down some of those barriers. But that's great advice. And I love also, I'm gonna totally use this with your mom's advice too with the fingers.
Yeah.
I think that's so true. And I know we could talk all day, but the last question I have is how can people support you, your organization, your company? Like, what's the call to action? What do you want people to leave and go do after they watch this video?
Yeah, keep there for keeping being a good supporters, and buy coffee to support undocumented immigrant. They don't have the chance you have, they have to have families, what you have. So that's gonna help, and then enjoy the coffee is just unbelievable. It's so good. I love it. People love it. So yeah, make that experience and stay tuned. Keep us in your prayers. We need more your support. We know that this journey is still long. We know you. We want you on our side, and yeah, we are in this together.
Yeah. So Babo Fair, there's the website, but Facebook is a great way to find out everything that you guys are doing and to stay in touch. Other social media, Saturdays outside Oker Bakery. Where can they buy the coffee? The coffee places too.
On Yeah. We have coffee in place. So we have coffee in place, and then as you know, online you can buy coffee, and then every $2 go support
Yeah.
the non-farm
So
non-document in
that's
Detroit.
great. So for those that aren't local, you can go on. You can buy the coffee online and get it shipped to you. So that's
Another thing
really
is
a
you can
really
get the
cool
coffee at
opportunity as well.
you can get the coffee at Cairo Coffee too, at Eastern Market. Yeah, you can get the coffee at Cairo Coffee.
Okay. Sorry, I popped out there for a second, but anyway, thank you
That's
so
it.
much for joining us. Just a reminder, everyone, just support, follow Babo Fair, buy the coffee, support immigration and immigrants. And Freedom House is another great organization to make donations to if you're looking to have an impact. And don't forget to follow us on City Institute. We'll be back next Monday with another great guest, and we'll be doing a tour tomorrow around food businesses in Detroit at 6:30. So you can also find that on information on DetroitExperienceFactory.org. But on that note, thank you so much, Mamba, and I hope to see you very soon. Maybe we'll bring the kids by Oker Bakery on Saturday and get some coffee and donuts.
I can't wait to see them, how they're becoming big boys. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Janet.
All right. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.